Take two. Before we get started, just a quick FYI. I've almost finished grading your app. I don't know why I said app two, app one. Apologies, I'm usually a little quicker with grading, but for obvious reasons, I'm not this week, but it might be done tonight. About 2/3, 3/4 of the way through, no major red flags. So what I've seen so far has been really good. So that's looking promising. We'll talk about those on Tuesday and I'll get your grade back to you before that. So to set a little context, today, most of our time is going to be spent practicing what we introduced on Tuesday, but let's review a bit first. So remember our three components of evaluation criteria. What does success look like? Standards or ideals upon which success is evaluated. And what does success look like? Evidence, that's our data. For our purposes, that's mostly going to use a survey. It's mostly going to be quantitative, so numeric. And then judgment, so what? What do we do with this information? So again, we started here with evidence. What are variables? How do we measure those? How do we write questionnaire items? Then we have backed up into criteria, specifically goals and objectives, and we introduced on Tuesday how to write these in a way that makes them easy to measure. We're going to continue that today. Just as an FYI, looking ahead, next we're going to talk about sampling, which is how we get our evidence. Then we're going to talk about analysis, so taking our evidence to judgment, and then how we actually make sense of that and present it. So that's where we're going with everything. I introduced to you a couple models of evaluation, and I'm going to put this table up again because I like it. Thanks, Annika. So intuitive or trust your gut. Because, I think class went well today. I think that program went well. Seems like it did. Intuitive as judgment, but does not actually collect evidence or have any criteria. I'm going to skip over professional judgment. I'm not as concerned about that one. Goal free. Okay, we don't have criteria. We don't know what success looks like, but we do collect evidence and we do make a judgment. So we'll often do this for new programs, or if we're just looking for information that we hadn't thought of. So maybe people get something out of travel or out of our program that we had not thought of. And then goal attainment, which is our focus right now, which has criteria, we collect evidence, and we make judgments. So that's our models we're going to concern ourselves with. Again, our focus today, and for the most part, is going to be on goal attainment. So we talked about goals, right? Goals are your big picture. They are broad. They are not measurable. Objectives are nested under goals. They are specific. They are measurable. And we know we've achieved our goal if we met our relevant objectives. And we also talked about two different types of goals and objectives. We're going to try this. We're going to solve I like to sit down while I teach issue. Seems stable. Everybody's holding their breath. Me too. You're making me nervous with that face.
It's like bending a little bit when you should.
All right, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to live with standing up.
You can lower your chair.
Something about sitting on a table. It just works for me. All right. Back on task. So we talked about generally two types, outcomes, which are ultimate goals. Okay. What do we really care about? When we use the example of world peace, And I drove some of you crazy by going, why does that matter? Why does that matter? Why does that matter? The truth is, at some point you just stop. You can always say, well, why does that matter? Why does that matter? So at some point you say, this is what I care about. I care about building self-esteem. I care about world peace. I care about developing empathy. Like, what's your ultimate goal? And then strategic goals and objectives, which is the process. What are you doing to get there? Okay, if I care about world peace, I want people to travel. I want people to interact with people and not like them. And then and when we get into strategic planning, we look at our outcomes. Did we meet it? If not, we can look at our strategies and see where we went wrong. Okay. So we're going to practice today. We're going to do the first one together. Most of you have laptops or a phone, right? I did not print out. I have not been to the office. I came straight from Bobby's physical therapy. But if you go to tinyurl.com/3YD/S3R. No one's gonna make a pirate joke. 7. Again, 3YDS3R7. I'll show it on the screen as well. And when we have some independent time, you're welcome to work with each other. So let's work through this first one together. So let's say we have a goal that the School of Community Resources and Development will be a leader in sustainability. It will be a leader in sustainability. That's not measurable. Okay. So the first question we want to ask ourselves, what are 2 indicators of sustainability? In other words, what does success look like? So let's say one indicator is recycling. One indicator is recycling. So I write my objective, and I gave you this format by the end of the semester. So that's the time-bound piece. At least 80% of students. That's the specific piece. It has a number, so we know what success is. Will report tells me that I'm going to use a survey that they recycle frequently. Time-bound, I'm going to measure in the semester. I'm going to see if 80% of students on a survey tell me they measure or they recycle frequently. So the next step on a questionnaire, I would write an item. Okay. How often do you recycle? Never, occasionally, sometimes, frequently. What level of measurement is this? Nominal, ordinal, interval? All together now. 1, 2, 3. Interval. Interval. Okay, take a couple minutes. And I want you to do the second one, and then we'll talk about it. So what's another indicator of sustainability? So I gave you recycling. What's another indicator of sustainability? Write the objective for it, and then write the item for it. Okay, take a couple minutes. You can talk to each other, do it yourself, whichever you prefer. What questions do you have about what's about to happen? All right, go. Another indicator of sustainability. Oh,
Did you make coffee? Yes. I feel like it would be like the usage of like certain goods. So like trying to think
I'll
of.
flip back to that in a second.
I was thinking like.
So-
So how often do 75% of students will report that they use public transport.
That wouldn't happen here.
No, never.
Yeah.
But that's okay. We can.
R.
It doesn't let us, yeah, that's all right though. That or the semester, certain percentage of students limit their plastic.
I feel like the same.
Maybe something like that.
Yeah, I just.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Sustainability.
Why is it just the word recycling?
So that was my first indicator of sustainability.
Yeah.
That was my example. Yep. Yep.
So what are two measurable actions? So.
You say 80%?
Sure, why not?
And report. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah. Two actions, right? Two. Sorry. Oh, wait, we just did one, right?
I was like, how'd you access it? Because my account is in, so I should just go through your history.
Oh, yeah, that's what.
First one I talked about was like.
Then we can do a scale number occasionally sometimes. Like to do the same scale.
But it's not to be different. Is it supposed to be like basis?
Just. Folks who are walking in, make sure you check in.
Maybe
I know you're coming from the career
disposable
fair. You're
plastic.
good.
So-
At least I assume you're coming from the career fair. I guess I don't know that.
Lost my AirPods.
You're both, you're both sitting right.
No.
place.
I was here, and then this one.
We found them.
Yeah.
I usually don't.
Yeah.
It's because I always get a first. Take to my class, like show up next class.
I'm tiny.
There have to be a different measurement level.
By so many times.
Put that tiny URL up.
There we go.
No one got that.
So are we two indicators?
SCRD. I feel like we gotta wait for those ones. Yeah. I feel like
A to B. Oh.
it's like kind of going on to the next thing.
Second, we're making our own second.
Who'd you talk to?
I talked to the Marriott bomb, I talked to Odyssey Travel, and then I talked to Princess.
Tiny URL.
One more minute.
A lot of them like Instagram internships, and I'm like, spring, not summer.
I wrote carpooling and using reuse.
So we answered 1 and 2 on it
Question though,
Eventually, if you wanna.
eventually.
based on those two actions, right, two strategic SMART objectives.
So can you go back to like, so if you can just identify that as how often. Yeah, you have to write, okay,
Water bottle. Oh, I, yes or no one. No. Yeah, I think it is. Okay. Yeah. Alright.
All right, folks, talk to me. What are some indicators of sustainability? I'm gonna give you recycling,
Using a reusable water bottle.
okay? Reusable water bottle. Great, what else? Sam?
Conserving like energy, such as like turning off lights and stuff like that.
Okay.
Don't fall.
You just have to. Good one. Do we like this better? Is that easier to say? Any others?
Carpooling.
Carpooling, great. Kind of. All right, let's go with, reusing a water bottle. Okay, so, write me the objective. I'll get you started. By the end of, give me a date.
This semester.
By the end of the semester. At least, how many? 75%. How are we gonna know they use a reusable water bottle? Well, 75% of who, I should ask first of all.
Students.
Students, we're gonna stick with students. Okay. How are we gonna know? We'll report. So they're gonna tell us on a survey. What are they reporting?
That they're using a reusable water bottle.
That they use a excellent. Okay. What's my questionnaire item? It can be that simple. Okay. Do you use a reusable water bottle? Okay. Yes. No. What level of measurement is that? Yes, no? Nominal or categorical? Yep. Great. Now, what I always recommend to people is if you're struggling or just when you're learning, make this simple and just keep these nominal. Interval gets us a little more analytical power, so it's always nice if we can make things interval. So we can make this interval by saying at least 700 students will report that they frequently use, and then I can have a 1 through 4 scale. We can make this interval by saying at least 75% of students will agree or strongly agree. And then we can use a Likert scale. So there's multiple ways to do it, but to start with, I would just make it nominal. So let's do one more together. So let's look at it. So those are our outcomes. Let's look at our strategies. So what's a measurable action? If we want people to use reusable water bottles, how do we do that? How do we get them to do it?
Stop selling plastic water bottles.
Okay, stop selling plastic water bottles. That works. Sometimes I don't know why I bother writing. All right, it's so messy, you can't see it. All right, our strategy is to stop selling plastic water bottles, let's say on campus. Write an objective that's measurable on a survey related to that strategy. Take a minute and do that one. Go. We'll talk about it.
Are we doing this one?
Hey, we got quiet, so let's see what we got. By when?
End of the semester.
End of the semester, we're gonna stick with that. At least, what's our number?
75.
70, I'm bored, 74%. Of who? Students. And we're gonna measure on our survey, so we'll report, what are they reporting?
questions.
Yeah.
Are we on objective 2B or 5A?
I don't know.
5A.
5A.
Right?
Yes, I'm also.
We're on 2B. Yeah, we're on 2B.
You're right, don't listen
So
to
we're
me.
just writing another I.
No, I'm sorry. You're right. It is, really, 5A. Yeah.
So what about
It's
one and
But-
to be filled out.
Yeah, so 2B would have been, by the end of the semester, it would have been about, by the end of the semester, at least X% will report that they use a reusable water bottle. Actually, really, it's 5B, but don't get too wrapped up in that. Don't get too wrapped up in that.
Okay.
Don't get too wrapped in that. You're doing fine.
So we're writing a separate objective.
You're writing an objective related to the, so we said our outcome, our ultimate goal is for people to use reusable water bottles. And we wrote an objective for that. We wrote an item for that. Then we said, how do we get there? What's the strategy? We stopped selling plastic water bottles. So we write an objective for that. And that's what we're doing right now.
Oh, so we're just like getting more and more specific?
You got it.
Oh, okay.
Bingo.
So-
Bingo. Thank you. Okay. So we're writing an objective related to not selling plastic water bottles. So by the semester, at least 70% of students will report that. It's a little bit tricky, but what do we got? Sultan?
They use paper bags instead of the plastic bags.
Right idea, except talking about water bottles, A. And B, that's your outcome. Okay, so let's say that was the outcome, but let's use water bottles. So we've set our strategies to not sell plastic ones. So how do we know that we're not selling plastic ones? I'm gonna help you, it's a little bit tricky. We'll report that they have not seen plastic water bottles for sale. Or they have not, maybe it's even better, bought a plastic water bottle. That's better. Okay. It's a little bit tricky because we're not controlling who's selling them. But if students is who we're getting information from, and we want to know that we're not selling them, then we're gonna ask them. What's my nominal item here?
Have you bought a plastic water bottle?
Yep. So it's just, it flows, right? So here's our outcome. What are we doing to get to that? Here's our outcome, here's the objective. What are we doing to get to that? Here's the objective. What questions do you have? All right, work on this SRD will be a healthy community. Work on that one independently for, I'll give you probably about 10 minutes. I'll walk around and then we'll do that one all together. So again, you're gonna start with what are the two, what does being healthy mean? What are indicators of success? And that's intentionally broad. You can talk about physical health, you can talk about mental health, whatever. It's intentionally broad, okay? So what are indicators? What does success look like? And then the next step is strategies. What do we do to achieve those things? So what's the indicator? Write the objective, write the item. What's the strategy? Write the objective, write the item. Yeah. Is that all right? Yep. All right, take in 5 to 10 minutes. I'll circle around, work on that. By yourself, with each other, whatever works best for you. And then we'll talk about it. All right.
The indicator is like one word, right? Usually, like how this one was recycling. Oh, maybe like a sentence.
Yep, perfect.
Two indicators.
I feel like numerous, like
Subject, maybe. So, yeah. So two indicators.
Let's see, we do mental health and physical health. Or is that too broad? Indicators of health.
And then you wrote outdoors.
And eating habits.
All we're gonna do today. That's the worst.
I think.
Okay, for the objectives. And then the item. How often? Should we make it engage in outdoor activities like once a week? Yeah, so we need to be a member. Or we could do that in the item. Is that how it works, or would you do that way?
Yeah, I think so.
So should it be like I spend at least like 2 hours a week participating in outdoor activities? How often do you engage in outdoor water issues is the same question, and then it can be also. 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay, yeah. So how often do you?
Do we have like these specific?
Like a certain. So they're like 1 to 2 hours. No, I think it's just in general. What's the one where it's like measured by?
I said. Communication says how.
By the end of the semester.
I think those things kind of, that one, no.
I don't know why.
What's the one that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. It is.
I like that one. I like that. Mine are pretty
Go.
broad.
I would fail.
Yeah, my second one's diet, like eating habits. Yeah. What's your second one?
I was planning on doing. Yeah.
I was just like, wow.
That's a good one. Mine was gonna be a healthy balanced diet. That's kind of. Just because it's a little bit too broad.
Flag me if you. Otherwise, I'll just keep walking around awkwardly staring at your shoulder.
For achievable and realistic, how would you want us to format that?
I mean,
That would be orderly.
usually I say, don't say 100%.
Okay,
It's a judgment
That
call,
would be interval.
right? It's not actually part of the
It
format.
would be ordinal, because we can't subtract these because we don't know if it's
Okay.
9 or 10.
because we only went through specific, measurable and time bound.
Yeah, because the
What would be like,
No,
what would
you
be
got it.
just achievable and realistic, because I think broad.
So the format's the same. So if I said, by the end of the semester, 100% of students have a reusable water bottle, that's not realistic.
Yeah.
It's just a judgment call.
Yeah.
It's really important.
Okay,
It's not like this should just be S
Is that
15.
like less than a-
That doesn't work.
okay, so I would just leave it blank now, I guess, or,
It's open, it's not, it isn't part of like, it's the same format.
okay,
It's just looking at your objective and saying, is this something I can really accomplish?
okay,
And also, because we're living in like a hypothetical land, it doesn't really.
got it, thank you.
But spend 4 to 5 hours a week.
Well, if you go for a hike,
Or more. You can.
Yeah.
for like 2 days at the,
Yeah, I know.
like mountain.
That's it. Okay.
And like that's.
And then from that,
Want to go strategy. Let me see.
You could rewrite the objective and say, we'll report that they work out at least 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And then you would measure how many times you work out.
okay.
And that way you can make intervals.
Should our question just be
So there's.
on the scale of 1 to 5, how healthy are we feeling?
I actually think I figured it out. I looked at my notes.
Or like,
But
do you
I
eat
like-
healthy meals?
I don't know why.
First
I
was
thought-
Get provided by you.
Never like 2, 3, 4.
Or do you eat healthy meals about one?
Well, I'll tell you, let me, sorry.
Well,
I would accept either.
like, people don't eat
So.
I think it's good idea.
Yeah, I love that more thing. The good news is
Do you think it would
accept either.
Yeah.
So, it's important because, someone put 5 or more, I can't subtract. It didn't work. So once it's 5 or more, I think this is 5 times or 17.
At least I have to.
So that's what typically makes
That's
sense.
probably.
Now, the reason I say we accept an interval is there's kind of a rule of thumb that it goes. They're not really asking people to count, more of a, just like really.
Yeah.
So we
Have you
often.
done it?
those
Have you seen how people?
So like this one then, just the second we're doing it, it's kind of
That one I would say is definitely.
interval.
But again, we're making an assumption there that the distance between these is the same, which is like, well, that's much worse than this.
I feel like as the kids is provided.
Yeah, right. Yeah, okay. Thank you for clearing that up.
Generally, we, whenever possible, we assume something's worse, I'm sorry, interval. Because we can do more analytically with it.
Okay.
I guess.
Healthier restaurant options?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because like.
That's the rest.
I don't know, I try words against the other side.
For the first one, right?
Awkward, not over your shoulder, but it's easier.
So I think I just let's do this.
You change. Yeah.
I'm confused. Oh, gosh.
So how do you get into exercise?
So what are the 2 measurable items that could help make SCRD helpful?
Program?
And then, like, I have this semester. I still have like.
Yeah, mine's like.
Then this 5 week.
I feel like we just did the same thing.
Did we not put anything?
Survey
for that.
Is that where we write has begun to provide help? Are they all? No. Wait, hold on, I'm gonna. So, what are the 2 measurements? Actually, yes, so then. We go from how often you recycle to. You use coverings.
Recordings.
Yeah. Okay. Because I show one.
Yeah. You gotta-
Yeah, but.
We'll just get it done.
But I'm also happy to-
We have to do that one too.
70, I think so, 75% of students. We report they ate bad salad.
Mhm.
Something like that.
Salad place.
Or like the smoothie place.
Yeah, because remember
So
fall,
the
last
green
fall,
place.
you guys had a
Right
class
back,
every
we say
Tuesday
at
and
least
Thursday night
75%
from
of students
4:30
will
to
report
7 to
that
5.
they have this place.
That was
Even more like it's basically what we were doing from here. How often do you cycle to, do you use a reasonable water bottle? And just like getting into more details, yeah.
Yeah, because it's hard to
So,
work at SO, you do nothing.
How many healthy food options have you found on campus? My first question. As the campus provided health food? You guys were like, how many?
Sure, I like, 'cause I like their stuff. I thought all the steak 48 stuff. Question?
I know, so.
Surgery.
What's my laptop with this?
Oh.
Guidance.
Yep.
Okay, so. There are. Oh my gosh.
Oh, wait, not, this is page 30.
My students are what they have healthier meals on campus. So then go down to here, would it be, say at least 75% students will report a salad? And then.
Yeah, I would probably argue that's still an outcome. How do you get them to eat?
That would be
What's the strategy to get them to eat healthier
Five,
options?
five, five, five.
Actually, this works.
Yeah, 3 pages to go.
Maybe like a discount.
It works.
Yes. Like all ASU students will get like a 10% discount. All. If you have like your Sunday, if you go to like whatever.
If you would like feedback, you can turn it in, but not necessarily.
And then I actually have a question. So I'm really struggling with the difference between ordinal and internal.
So if you, so you've got 5 choices. And someone picks E and someone picks B. You can subtract those, it's internal. If you know E is more than B, but you don't know how much more, it's ordinal. So, this is ordinal, right? Because we don't know, like, if it said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, then it's integral. Look at 10 minus 3, 7. This, I know this person did more than that person, but I don't know how much more.
Okay. And that makes sense.
You use system of down, and you just like the shirt.
So what?
You like system of the down, you just like the shirt.
Of course, I'm not wearing a band if I don't listen to the band.
It happens all the time. All the time. And then there's T's, which are frankly like my generation music. And so frequently I was like, oh, we like it right now. I just like the shirt.
Yeah.
Now it's like,
No, like that's like my fear, like all like, that's why I don't get like band tees. I don't know the band, cause I like, my fear is like, you know, when people like go up on the street and they'll be like, okay, name 5 songs for that band.
oh,
then you're
yeah.
like-
I think I can name 5 system of down songs. Get a couple. That wasn't, you didn't pick the system, we don't have system of down on our playlist, do we?
No.
It's a little angry for a walk-up song.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
want everyone to know like.
All the time.
Yeah, all right. Your secret angry side.
Yeah.
Hey, folks, real quick, let me interrupt you and then I think you're still working on it, but one of the challenges is figuring out what's a strategy and what's an outcome. And it's, I'm sorry, I know you hate me saying this, but it's not always obvious. It can be quite gray. So the question I always say to ask yourself when looking at your strategies is if you achieve that, does it guarantee the outcome? If it guarantees the outcome, it's probably the outcome. If not, it's a strategy. So, for example, on the healthier or health. So a couple of you have put something about working out, and some of you have put that in the strategy, some of you have put that in the outcome. Okay? So I would tell you, if someone works out, does it mean they're healthy? If the answer is no, then it's a strategy. Or not necessarily. If someone works out, are they healthy? If the answer is not necessarily, then it's a strategy. Now, before you have a total like freak out about that's really hard, because it is, like, I will never mark you wrong for something that I'm like, that's probably an outcome, not a strategy, or that's probably a strategy, not an outcome. Like, I'll never mark that wrong. I might give you feedback on it, because it's super hard and gray. So I might say like, I think that's probably a strategy, but I'm never gonna deduct points. Okay. I want you to start thinking that way because it's a super useful skill. I mean, I told you last time, this is a CEO level skill. So I want you to start thinking about that way, but I don't want to punish you for not like being perfect. Okay. So think, don't stress about that difference. Okay, fair enough. All right, continue.
Okay, so what's your thing? The stressors that we and then statement would be like, how do you use it? Yes.
Now, do we have to do these, like?
I sit around.
One of the.
But then I don't know, like, do we keep going with?
So,
Oh,
yeah,
that would be yes or no.
yeah.
No.
It, we give a lot.
Yeah.
This doesn't help you with stress.
Slow? I know, I can be.
I know.
What I recommend is.
Oh, slow.
Example tell you. So, simple fix here.
I'm like,
During the semester, your stress decrease.
yeah, I go to finance at 7:30 AM. That's crazy. I like pulled the driveway this morning and like, where are you coming from? And I was like, yeah, I already went to
Because it
class.
doesn't help me decrease.
Like,
I would love to go.
The other way is we have to touch students
Yeah,
more
my friend.
that they agree or strongly agree
Like,
that they.
I prefer it that way because like, my second year out here, which is so bad, so I was like, so bad, like, like all three. Yeah, things are, I'm getting really frustrated. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's weird because
So I'm glad that I'm.
this question,
Hours, like, the last
breakfast,
this one work. and
is
then I'll-
these boxes. Yeah, so I thought that you have to make my own, you know.
But do you want to play some
Format is also.
Do you look at
I just sit up here.
Yeah, like in the.
Yeah, so
you
they
have those.
do that.
Oh, yeah, so your next class, right?
Yes, that's my third class of the day. Yeah. So my three classes, and then I have a little lunch break.
Yeah.
My iPad, my
No wonder
book.
your Tuesday is the fourth, like. You were racking up with these classes.
No, because like at that point in the day, like it's 4 or 5 o'clock. I'm done learning. Honestly, like my cutoff is at like 2, 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Honestly, 1 o'clock.
Like,
After
here.
1, like there's nothing being learned at all. So
How do you?
I will stay there.
Yeah, your strategy.
Listen.
I got a lot, yeah. So
I skipped an engagement. Just like every like 5-10 minutes, I'll ask a question.
We have a guest speaker.
That's like a lot of work.
Oh, wait, I'm like.
Yeah, I think it's like last night.
Great topics, like I feel like people are just, I'm for what to say, but I've just had a lot of interviewing stuff and like those people are like. Those noticed or not like, they're like, what's that like,
It's not really like interesting.
So.
It's just like,
yeah. Facts or stuff you should know for.
Yeah.
Like, I go to a lot of these people, like, they sit there and I'm just like, oh,
Already.
I learned a lot tonight. Yeah.
How did you get?
Yeah. They're labeled, like what class it is.
One more minute, one more minute.
This one notebook, so.
Like friends. Thank you for putting that in my head.
Like this one, it's like.
So that's a fun, how would you change that? What are indicators of physical health? Heart rate. And that's a hard one, because is exercise an indicator? Kinda, or is an outcome? Kinda, because if you can do it, that means you're healthy, but it's also a strategy. That's where it gets super messy. So don't beat yourself up over it.
Yeah, I know. That's a no is coordinators. That's why no. So you said that we're saying for me, it's is that it's
Yeah. I think it's-
okay.
Yeah. What?
Because that doesn't mean.
Right.
That's not what. It's the guarantee. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think that's part of our strategy. So like, what would be indicators of physical health? It might be. It might be the ability to work out for 30 minutes without getting tired.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say, that's why. It's really nice.
All right, folks, let's chat for a few minutes. So let me just say generally what I see, you're doing awesome. Like, you're doing awesome. Like, and I know some people, a lot of people are like, is this right? And I'm like, yeah, Okay, that happened a lot. Let's talk about this.
No.
And come up with things. So what are some indicators of
Yeah.
physical health? Or health, I'm sorry, it was just physical health. It was just health. I can't talk. Rewind. Eating habits. What else?
Exercise.
Exercise.
Anxiety levels.
Anxiety, there we go. Someone was getting a mental health. All right. So these are good examples. Let me make this bigger for you. Let's go with exercise. So, what's an objective related to exercise? By
The end of the semester.
the end of the semester. At least,
65.
thank you for being your different number, 65% of who?
Student.
What are they gonna do?
Report.
Will report. What are they reporting?
I put at least one campus fitness program.
Right, so we'll report. What are they?
I said at least one
Participation.
campus fitness program, because I guess like that goes with exercise.
At least 65% of students will report at least one
Like that.
Participation of.
that they participated.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your item to measure this?
Did you attend at least one campus fitness program?
Yep.
Yes or no?
Yep. And that is nominal. How would you write an item to measure this at the interval level?
How often?
Monica?
Oh, she started answering it.
No, you go.
And then she saw your hand and she looked at you, so.
You could do like amount of time, so you could do like 1 to 2, 3 to 4.
How many? Yep. We could leave that blank and then it's interval. Now, one word of caution that I see sometimes, so our objective is at least one campus fitness program. Sometimes I'll see this. Like, okay, well, if they checked A, there might have been one, it might have been 0. So just make sure you're clear there. Now, I would suggest you, so here's my question. If they go to at least one fitness program, does that guarantee they are healthy?
No.
No, that makes it a strategy. Yeah. And again, I'm not going to ding you on that. If you put that as an outcome, I'm not going to ding you on that, but that one's definitely a strategy. Okay, we want to try one of these other ones? Let's do anxiety. Bye, give me something different.
I think I have one.
December 2025, at least.
75%.
Come on.
76.
80%.
50%.
82, that's a fun number. Age of who?
Of elderly people.
Elderly people. That's something that needs person first language and probably doesn't really matter.
Elderly people don't even really have anxiety though.
They don't, really? You have not met my father, let me tell you, you have not met my father.
Elderly people.
My father, who is 84 years old, is the most anxious person I know. And it drives me crazy, and I love him dearly. These people who are elderly, what are they gonna do?
We'll report.
We'll report, what are they reporting? Someone help Savannah out, she's carrying it.
They haven't gotten hip surgery.
Okay, well, that might be good, but that has nothing to do with anxiety.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
You're good.
I'm-
It might.
It might, yeah. We'll report when something has to do with anxiety.
They have less or no anxiety. I don't know.
That-
Anxious.
Yeah, let's keep it simple to start with, that they are not anxious.
That's so broad though, something.
It is, but I did, so look, yeah, this is super broad, but let's get the skill and then we can get better at it. All right, so if that's our case, what's our item?
Are you this? Well,
Yeah, nominal.
yeah.
All right, let's do something. By the way, so you're all getting Bobby, my wife, updates, right? So she is, before you drastically overestimate our ages, way super young to be getting knee surgery, but to be getting the knee surgery she's getting, which has made sometimes being in the doctor's office a little weird. Like she had to give advanced directives before her service, like before her surgery. Like, did she want to be revived? She's like, yeah, give me CPR. I'm getting a few hours. I wake up and give her ice, I go back to bed. I wake up, I give her ice, I go back to bed. But it's getting better. Thank you.
That's good.
Hopefully I can find somebody like that down the road.
No,
They're
for
really
real.
nice to meet.
Let's Monica, let's talk about, I want to use your example. I forgot what it was though.
I said by the end of the semester, 80% of students will report they strongly agree that they use coping skills. And then the item or statement is.
All right, hold on, let me stop you there. So, this is a good one. So coping skills is her strategy. Coping skills is her strategy, which relates to anxiety. Okay, so there are two ways to do this. And if you're struggling, I would just say by the end of the semester, at least, 71% of students will report they use coping skills. No, okay. If you're struggling, just do that, okay? Keep it simple, okay? The other thing is don't reinvent the wheel. If your objective is about coping skills, make your item about coping skills. Don't be like, And you can say, did you meditate, did you, but just keep it simple. Now, it's nice if we can make this interval. So. Anka, tell us what you did by the end of the semester.
Oh, I said, how often do you use?
Sorry, back up, sorry, my fault, the objective, my fault.
By the end of the semester, at least 80% of students will report that they strongly agree that they use coping skills.
I'm gonna change it slightly just for illustrative purposes. By the end of the semester, at least 80% of students will report, okay, that part we're pretty good at, that they, sorry, typo, agree or strongly agree. So this way we give them, Annika was a little tougher than I was. She wanted them to strongly agree. Okay, agree or strongly agree that they use coping skills. Okay, then our questionnaire item becomes rate your agreement with following. I use coping skills. Strongly agree, neutral. Disagree. Now it's interval. Now it's interval. So if you've got this down, I encourage you to try to write things that measure at interval. If you're struggling, just keep them at nominal. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know why I'm getting caught up on this question.
All right.
Agree or strongly agree?
Yep.
So then would those go into? Like, actually, I don't even know what I'm asking. I'm just trying to.
All right, come back to it.
I'm thinking out loud.
All right, I scrolled up enough.
I did one similar, but I did it like 75% of these people will have 3 or more coping strategies, and I did like 1 is none, 2
Yes,
is
right.
yeah, I don't know.
Yes, go for it. Steph.
So I think what I'm like trying to think, like agree and then strongly agree, like I don't know why I thought that was like a double barrel question.
Yeah, that's just our Likert. The double barrel would be,
Liker is the strongly agree part.
I use coping skills and anger management techniques. And I'm asking about 2 things.
Because then for the scale, would you like put strongly agree and agree as like one answer? I think that's.
No,
what I'm
oh, no,
confused.
no, 2 answers.
Okay.
So I'm saying I want people to select, I want 80% of people to select either agree or strongly
Okay.
agree.
What's the difference between Likert and interval?
Likert is, and it's Likert is a type of scale that is interval.
Okay, so
And I don't even remember, because that word gets thrown around way too loosely, but usually we use it to talk about strongly agree scales.
okay.
Yeah. And actually it's Likert, but that sounds just wrong.
Yeah, most people say Likert. I've heard Likert.
Yeah. What questions do we have? Okay. A few of you have asked if you turn this in. If you would like feedback on yours, then yeah, just share it with me. If you don't want to, then that's fine. You don't have to.
One last thing. So I remember I asked you like about one of my questions. So you said when in doubt, like if you're between ordinal or interval, choose, which one did you say to choose? Because you have more of a
Interval.
interval, okay.
Because interval gives you more analytic power, which we'll get to in a few minutes. All right, app 3. Which is due in what, like a week and a half-ish or something like that? Tell me, you got time. Is doing this skill, right? So here it is. You just received a large sum of money with the stipulation that you must use the money to start your own organization. No more working for the man. You can start any type of organization you want. Give it a name, briefly describe it. It's just setting it up, right? Don't stress about this. I actually always find it really interesting, the things you come up with and what you're interested in. Based on your organization, what are 2 indicators of success? I'm starting an underwater basket weaving organization. Success is people develop self-confidence and they're able to hold their breath for a long period of time. I don't know. Okay. Based on those indicators, write 2 SMART objectives that would be measured using a questionnaire. Using a questionnaire. Okay. We'll each write the item that measures it. So objective, item, what's the scale, what's the measurement level? Objective, item, scale. And then what are your strategies? Okay, if I want self-esteem, what am I doing to get people there? Okay, I'm offering 3 classes a week. I'm doing a buy one, get one free deal. Whatever. How do I measure it using questionnaire? Okay.
So this is like pretty similar to what we did
It's
today.
exactly what you did today. And exactly what you'll do on the exam. 6 is about sampling. You don't know that, you'll know that on Tuesday. It's simple though. Okay. 6 and 7. Part 3, describe how you do collect data using cross-sectional, longitudinal, experimental design. We've talked about that. Hopefully you know it. Briefly, just really need this. Might delete number 9. Don't really need it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna delete that part 4. We don't need it. So that's, someone tell me when that's due? Like a week and a half?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have plenty of time.
25th, yeah, next week.
What questions about that? So again, if you want feedback on what you did today, share it with me. No obligation, no grade. But if you just want to know if you did it right, I'm happy to look. We can have from this, I'll have your grades back well before Tuesday. We'll talk about it on your first app again. I finished like 3/4 of you and nothing to worry about. Tuesday is very about sampling. Tuesday is the M&M lecture. Anybody have M&M like peanut allergies? Anything to worry about? So we're gonna violate the no food rule in here on Tuesday. Yeah,
Can I bring my own? Because I don't eat chocolate, so can I bring Skittles?
yeah.
Can I bring Skittles? That's on Tuesday.
Tuesday. Yep. Questions, comments? Snide remarks? That's your snide remark?
Yeah.
Hey, I feel like I'm forgetting something. I'm kind of stalling because I feel like I'm forgetting telling you. That's what Canvas announcements are for. All right, folks, have a wonderful weekend. I will see you next week.
Yeah, it's feeling better. The soreness and like, I think like for me, it's just I know that I lost muscle in that area, so it just feels like a little like. It already came out. Yeah. I feel a lot better. Luckily, it didn't like get anything. That's good. Yeah. Super big. So, thank you. I feel like I have so much stuff.
Hey, Lauren, 1 second.
Yeah. No, I get it. I have to do something. And I write everything down, so the fact that I don't remember.
So.
It's my notes app and my reminders. Especially when it's like, when someone slacks me and I need to do something. I have to, like, yeah, go through all my slacks too. See, I have like 5. Yeah. Wait.
Class.
Oh, we gotta do just.
Did you before? Did you not? Or did you not? Forget the email.
I didn't, I don't know if I might have.
Did you do the group advisory?
So I might not
I'm
have
done.
done that.
I signed up for the first email or something.
All right, thank you.
So don't panic when you see your
Okay.
grade,
Uh-huh, okay.
because it's just, I was missing that.
Yeah, thank you,
Yep.
sorry.
Yep.